Hey everyone, it's Dave Stone again, and welcome to another exciting and live episode of Develop Awesome Skills. I'm Dave Stone, and today I'm answering a question from Mary, and I'm going to let you guys know the instructions for successfully growing mangoes and avocados in the desert, shamus style. Shamus O'Leary, tropical fruit trees, is who I bought all my mangoes, well, not all my mangoes, but some of my mangoes and avocados from. And I want to share with you what his directions are. This is a paper he gives you when you buy his trees. So there's digging the hole, preparing the mixture, planting the tree, top dressing, first watering and feeding during the seasons, learn to check your soil, feeding your plant. So that's the instructions. And the key here, so when you're looking at all this, digging the hole, mixture, planting the tree, top dressing, first watering, that's all planting it. So once you get it planted, this is your watering and feeding. And this is the main thing that is very, very important, to feed and water your trees properly. So I will go over this in a second, but another thing that he talks about is giving it the proper microclimate. And I'm going to show you what that means. I had to figure that out, but this is what I did for my microclimate. Is especially in the desert, though, you need to find out which way your property faces. This is south for me, that's north, so my front of my house faces south, which means that's west. So basically, anytime you have the west side and you're going to try to plant an avocado tree. Oh, hey, Ange, the kittens are great. I'll give you guys an update on that in a little bit. So the avocados and the mangoes, you see, they're already shaded. It's 11:33 right now, and they started getting shade. The ones in the back there, probably about 11. See, this little guy in the front, the fruit punch, it's not going to get shade till probably about 12:30 to 1. And now when I'm going to plant this one, it's not going to get shade till about 2:30. So I'm going to actually have to apply more shade to this mango out here, especially when I do this planting over here. As you can see, I always care about the west side and the top. So the west side and the top of it for the summers. Now you need shade for the first 4 summers on mangoes and avocados. If you really want to successfully grow them, you need to plant them correctly, you need to apply mulch, you need to feed your trees, and you need to give them shade when they need it in the summer. So only for 4 months or so. After that, they're pretty good for the rest of the year. It's just with the extreme temperatures, you have to give them top shade. You basically just want them to get shade starting at about 11 o'clock. So Mary, I hope that answers your question. I think the shade is one of the most important things, especially in summertime here in Phoenix, is we need basically 4 summers of shade, of pretty much 100%. You can start dropping it down. You go like 80%, then you go 50%, and 30%, and then you can try to take the shade off that 3rd summer. But they should be well established enough at that point to be able to take the heat. Mangoes like the heat. They just like to be watered and like to be fed. And this mulch on the ground, that's what it is. It's food. It's just food sitting here on the ground that's decaying and feeding them over the course of time. It's like slow release fertilizer. My plants are getting fed a vegan diet, other than the fish emulsion that I add, because I do add fish emulsion once every 3 months, and that's in a root to ground feeding that I do. So I'm gonna go over this instructions here a little bit more for digging and planting and successfully growing. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. All right, I'm gonna step in the shade here. And I want to show you something too. When I was pulling my plants up, is this had a pot on it, one of my mangoes on it right here. And if you go down here, I want you to see just this beautiful white. That is mycorrhiza. That is what I've been adding to the soil there, and it is just a network of beneficial fungus that is throughout my yard. You could even see the little bugs running around back down there. And when I was digging underneath here, wonder if I can see it now. There was little worms. I mean, when I got down, I don't know, but look at that. It's just, oh man. You know, it's just like a skin for the ground. So the mycorrhiza, look at all that. It's just everywhere. So it's just great. That white stuff, positive. So I cover it back up to protect it because I want to keep it. So here we go. So Shamus says, when you plant the hole, you dig it. You prepare the site by digging a hole that's twice as deep and 3 times the width of the container. That's a big hole. At the bottom of the hole, you place 1 tablespoon of mycorrhiza, and that's what I was just showing you right here. That's what's going on. It's a network. It's an internet of communication between the plants. It brings the nutrients. The plant's roots, the mycorrhiza attaches to the plant's roots, and the plant's roots are like, hey guys, I need some nutrients that I don't have available to me. And they tell the fungus, and the fungus runs out and grabs those nutrients, brings it back to that root. The tree's like, oh wow, thanks dude. And then it gives them some sap. It feeds the mycorrhiza. So it's a mutual beneficial relationship. That's why it's called beneficial. It's called mycorrhiza is a beneficial fungus. That's why we call it beneficial. It's so beneficial. So I think I said beneficial like 10 times just now. Anyways, so that's what we do here. At the bottom, place 1 tablespoon of mycorrhiza, because once you add water, it activates it. The mixture should be prepared outside of the hole. A wheelbarrow works great. So you take all of this stuff and you mix it into 1 wheelbarrow or 1 area, and then after you mix it, you use it. So 1/3 native soil, 1/3 Shamus soil. Shamus soil is very well draining. He makes this lava sand stuff that's just really, really great. So it's very nice to have his soil. If you don't have it, I use compost from Lowe's, which is that. So basically, I'll just combine those. I know you're supposed to use some soil, so maybe I'm doing a little bit wrong compared to Shamus, but I don't have all the ingredients right now, so I'm just using what I have. I do have worm castings. The more worm castings you can do, the better. And then 3 handfuls of azomite, and I do have azomite. That's the A to Z of minerals, including trace elements. It's rock dust. Google it. It adds so many nutrients and beneficial, basically minerals and trace elements. Okay guys, I think I'm live again. Sorry about that. My iPhone overheated, so this is part 2. Plus kittens. But first, before we get to the kittens, I'm doing it inside now just because it was really hot out there. So I think we were on the mixture. We do 3 handfuls of azomite. It's rock dust, minerals. It's super good. Definitely the more you use over the years, the more it mineralizes your soil. It gives you more nutritious fruit along with more fruit and better tasting fruit. So now planting the tree. You place the tree in the hole, the big hole you dug, and then you fill the tree with mixture, and you make sure the crown root ball is above the grade. If you don't put it above the grade, it can get root rot. So make sure that where it's planted in the pot, that's the level of the soil that you use. Top dressing, 1 to 2 inches of compost. Locally made compost is best. 1 to 2 inches of worm castings. 6 to 12 inches of mulch. Now, that's food, and that's food, and that's food. Quicker food, long-term food. So over the summer, that 6 to 12 inches is going to drop to 1 to 2 inches, and it'll be soil underneath now. First watering, 3 times the size of the planter. So if it's a 5-gallon pot, 15 gallons. Watering and feeding by the seasons. So if you have a 5-gallon pot, you give it 5 gallons of water. In the winter, you water every 7 to 14 days. Spring and fall, every 5 to 7 days. Summer, 3 to 4 days. Extreme heat, 1 to 3 days. Right now, I'm watering more than most people. I'm watering more than this, but everything's doing well, so I'm gonna keep it up. Learn to check your soil. If the soil is dry, water the plant. If the soil is wet, do not water. So I'm pretty much keeping it wet underneath all of the wood chips, but I think you have to experiment for yourself. It says do not overwater, and it's underlined in bold, but I don't know, man. They're loving it. Right now anyway, when it's super hot. Feeding your plant. He uses a granular feed, an 839 for in-ground plants and a 754 for container plants. That's just normal fertilizer that you'd get at Lowe's or something and granulated so it slow releases. I don't use that. I don't think we really need that, but that's the one thing I'm not doing that Shamus tells me to do is the granular. I do add compost, worm castings, and azomite every 3 months. It's a really good idea to do that. Plus, I also add, he doesn't even say on here, I also add to it kelp and a few other stuff in a liquid form 3 times a year into the root well for a 5-gallon. Exactly, Tony, sustainable. That's what it's all about, man. I really just want to live healthier. I want to have healthier food, healthier plants, and a longer, more fruitful life. And then apply every 6 months, slow release for in-ground container plants and foliar feeding. Foliar feeding is also key in Shamus's mind. I've heard other people talk about they don't want a foliar feed because when does kelp just rain on plants? But I think if there's things we can do, if foliar feeding is something we can do to enhance the growth of our plants, then I'm all for it, because we have the opportunity to go on Amazon right now and buy some kelp, and there's a few ingredients that you put in a nice foliar feed. Now, excuse the mess. I literally stopped working on, oh, look at that. That's my artwork. I still haven't even painted that wall from when I bought the house and redid the whole thing. I gutted this whole place. I do have all the videos, but I haven't posted them yet of this whole remodel. I built that kitchen, which is super dirty right now. Sorry about the mess, but this is the stuff you need for a foliar mixture. You want to get some humic acid, some fish fertilizer, chelated, oh no, this is liquid kelp, and then you want some chelated iron. So I get those 4 ingredients, and then you mix it all up. Now, I don't use the fish emulsion on my foliar feed anymore, only because it stinks a lot, and I don't like going around to my plants and just smelling fish everywhere. So I use the fish emulsion only for the in-ground every 3-month feeding. But the humic acid, it's a root stimulator, and it's interesting because you put the root stimulator on the leaves, but only a little bit. You really only need a little bit in 5-gallon. I'll show you guys the mixture that I use for my foliar feeding, and I do it like Shamus says, every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, you just have a couple containers ready. Boom, you just spray it down. Oh, hey, thanks, Tony. Yeah, I gutted it. I put the beam in. There was ceilings, so it was so small in here, but I just left the walls open. And then I'll show you the countertop. I was gonna do concrete, but I ended up doing birch plywood, and I stained it with a carbon gray stain, and then I epoxied it with a bar top epoxy. So I like some of these little sections where you meet up. Super cool. But anyways, guys, thanks, Tony. That's kind of me revealing my house. Oh, my friend did that painting back there. EJ, if you're watching this, I love your work. All right, guys. Oh, EJ Christo's also a musician in Seattle. So if you get a chance, I think it's EJ Christo. Find him online. Check him out. He's pretty good. Kind of jazzy. All right, guys. Well, anyways, Mary, this video was for you. So if you guys have any other questions, just post them down in the comments. If they're video worthy, I'll do a video on it and try to answer your questions as best as I can. So hope you guys are having a great day. Just remember, always develop awesome skills. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, share this video, give me a comment. I'm just really having a lot of fun interacting with you guys. So meeting new friends all over the world and inviting you guys to my home to show. Oh, it did say plus kitties, didn't it? So here we go. Oreo cookie and Tiger. What's up, dude? They love cardboard boxes. Seriously. They're very easy to entertain because they just entertain themselves. So they were two sisters. I got them from a family, a very loving family of 8 children, and mom, I think dad too. I didn't meet dad. The people in the family. But then Mama Cat had 4 babies, and these guys are 3 months old, and they're sisters, and they're just, I was just gonna get one, but when I went down there, they were so friendly and they were so fun. They were just having a lot of blast, and that they basically, I'll tell you, that family just raised them right. So the mama taught them how to use a litter box, and they're just a lot of fun. They just liven up the place. So, hey Oreo cookie. What's up, buddy? All right, that was just a little extra piece, guys. All right, Mary, this video was for you. So thanks for the question, comment, and hope you guys are having a great day. And remember, develop awesome skills. Talk to you guys soon.